Greetings, Patriots, Star Seeds Lightworkers, and of course our very brave military. Welcome to 1776 United, and we are in a worldwide and galactic revolution. Now, I've been wanting to answer a whole bunch of questions that have been coming in, and I'll try to get this thing all covered, but I do want for everybody to relate to, go over what we've already understand and what we've reviewed already, and we have to keep going back to that because they're the backbone of this whole operation that's unfolding right now. Now, we have to talk about Nesara Gesara in this because it has been implemented since 2016. It has been done covertly. And what does it say inside, that really basically hit home with me was the fact is that all people that were not born in that particular country they're in now have to go home to their place of origin, which their birth, place of birth, to collect any of their Jesara winnings, and that is owed to them. Of course, everybody's going to pack up their shit and go because money is driving our world, and and I just don't think people that are landed immigrants here will be allowed to stay, but I just don't think that there's going to be an incentive through Jesara to go back to your homeland because of all the countries that were maybe where you come from that were depressed before will be thriving. They're thriving now. Like I said, I just did a 9 or 10 country tour for the last couple of years here. It started last year, and with me following my daughter, we went from Vancouver to Edmonton to Germany to Istanbul. We spent some time there, and then we broke up there. She took off to Egypt, which was all cool because she had her contract all in place, and I was comfortable leaving her with the beautiful people that were there. And then I took off. I flew over Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan into Thailand, and then from Thailand went to the Philippines, and then from the Philippines I stayed with my at my house and family down there for a couple 3 months, and then of course I went from there to Hong Kong to Japan back to Vancouver. That is a worldwide tour. So and I picked up a lot of information from there. So and I can tell you one thing: if you overstay, if you're trying to follow the rules and overstay your visa, which you're allowed, in particular, living in the Philippines, you only got 30 days free. After that, you got to pay another 3,000 pesos for an extended stay for 30 days, which is only it's about $80. Okay. And this happened, goes around to every country, because even back in the 1990s when I was working in Japan, we could only stay for 1 month, and then we'd the company would send us out for a weekend to one of a local another city outside of Japan, just for a couple of days, and then stay there for a couple of days, then come back in, and we were good for another 30 days. That's how it worked. So because Japan is so close to Seoul, Korea, Shanghai, Hong Kong, and even Manila. Okay, so this is something every country does, and for the amount of illegals that came in through the open border through the China Joe administration, we've found out now, coming from Trump's own mouth, said there was 25 million that came in illegally. They're all going to be deported out. And you got these people committing treason, these governors and mayors and all these other things committing treason by hiding these illegals. That's treason. So, and they're all going to get rounded up. Not just the illegals, but all the Democrat players that are committing these criminal acts. Okay, they're all corrupt, and that's what Trump is basically exposing right now. But when we get to Jesara, every person, whether you've been a landed immigrant or not, if you were not born in that country, you will have to go back in order to reap the benefits of Jesara. It's really that simple. If you don't want the money, don't go back. That's fine. You can stay wherever you are working, But I don't think there's going to be too many people not, they're going to say, listen, you want your heritage, you want your, all your family trust fund, in a digital bank, QFS under QFS, on the Odin ledger. If that's what you want, then you're going to have to go home for it. It's really that simple. You're going to see a mass exodus out of here. Okay? And as far as with all these technologies coming now, there won't be no need for any hospitals or, the police force of what we see now. There'll be sheriffs and constitutional sheriffs and deputies, but there won't be any city cops. There won't be any RCMP. There won't be any city cops in the States. And that's all getting cleaned up right now. Trump is, even to this day, Trump's being demonized and I'm really quite dismayed by Nyla Nguyen of 3D to 5D consciousness, so how she has flipped her whole consciousness to speaking out against Trump and what he's trying to do. He's saved millions and millions of children from certain harvest. He has saved billions of dollars, trillions of dollars that was being sucked out of the American economy. He has stopped the corruption of many cities now. He stopped 7 possible wars because, really, they were, whether or not they signed up for Jesara or not, which 209 countries did sign up, they were still wanting to get involved. But, let's play into that a little bit more. Was it part of the show, or was it they were actually going to, bring up arms and fight? It really doesn't matter, because, Trump in those countries came in and made some peace deals. So that's basically we don't realize how much he's done, and he's continuing to do this. So, people can say whatever you want. I'm going to be on the right side of history, and I'm following Trump. I have been following Trump right from the beginning, and I know what he's doing because I'm seeing how he's playing Nesara Gesara out. You call it whatever you want. He's not calling it anything. What he is doing is implementing the fundamental rights of these Nesara Gesara, what is in their guidelines, what is in their constitution, that should have been applied a long time ago, but it wasn't because we were overrun by frickin' reptilians. That's really what it comes down to, and they're all being exposed now. The speech yesterday at the UN was nothing short of badass. He basically called them all out and expose them for what they are. Now let's just remember something. In the Bible, it says in the Bible that it really just bounced out at me. It says that all countries will turn on Israel in the end. And that's what is happening right now, based on what Netanyahu has been doing in the genocide in the Gaza Strip. This is not me talking. This is what is unfolding and what is in everybody's face right now. This is all part of Nesara Gesara. And, even people like Queen Romano, and I'm sure she's got lots of followers inside Canada, but myself, I've never seen her stand beside President Trump. The only patriot other than his inner circle that seems to be standing up against this tyranny. I've never seen her stand beside him. Why is that? There's just so many things. I followed her right from the beginning. That's fine. But I'm going to tell you something. In Nesara Gesara, there will be no kings and queens at the end of it. There won't be. There will be constitutional peace councils, and they will be the ones that are elected by the people, for the people, and they will be making decisions through referendum. Okay? That's basically how it's going to be done. So this is where I'm going with all this, is the fact is that, we're watching this show play out of exposure. And everybody's getting exposed. Me too, right? You too. Everybody that's even looking at a phone. You don't have to be saying shit. The phone's listening to what the words are that you're saying. The TVs are listening in. These tools and technology that has been developed in our world was all being controlled by the cabal before. But since Trump took office, he brought it all down and recovered, basically took over the operations of Space Force, the operations of the NSA, the operations of the IRS, the operations of the Federal Reserve, and it goes on and on and on and on. And now the Patriots have control of everything, and you're going to see nothing but good come out of this, because the technology is now in the good hands of the Patriots. Okay, where I think you're going to see the real Nesara Gesara in full implementation, okay, is after the EBS, because once that's been announced, people that's why I come back home to Canada, because I know that we're very, very close to getting this thing done. I mean, I know in my heart, because I know a lot of people have been asking, and I know in my heart, just by and plus my research and listening to qualified people in the know, I believe it's going to be done between now, today, and and New Year's. Okay, there will be full Nesara Gesara implementation around the world by January 1, and this comes from a lot of people. So just hang in there, folks. We are extremely close to this. We've had to put up with this bullshit for 10 years, since 2016. And it's coming to an end. And I think the Patriots have done a remarkable job. Not to mention, we have to thank not just Commander Thor and all the Pleiades and every other planet warrior that has fallen in this battle of the world, for the world. We have to, bow our heads and salute to all the brave gladiators that were taken down in this fight for humanity. And in the future, we will know what this was, how important this fight was, because how important you will soon know how important you are, because it's all going to be exposed. I'm trying to put it out there in bits and pieces because nobody sees the full picture yet. Everything has always been covert operations, and the truthers out there has just been trying to connect the dots. I hope that this clears it up. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I will try to put these videos out more and more as we get busier and busier. And like I says, for now, I will say goodbye. God bless, and we will see you on the next one.